The air hung heavy, thick with the scent of marigolds and damp earth.
Another grave, another day at the graveyard.
The setting sun cast long, eerie shadows across the weathered tombstones. Whispers of wind rustled through the leaves of the ancient banyan tree at the graveyard's edge. Its gnarled branches seemed to claw at the twilight sky. Sunil shivered, a tremor running down his spine. He always felt a presence here, a coldness that seeped into his bones. He glanced at the setting sun, a ball of fire sinking below the horizon. Soon, darkness would blanket the graveyard. Sunil quickened his pace, a sense of unease gripping him.
You're late again.
Ravi said, his voice laced with concern. He sat at their small wooden table, a textbook open before him. He couldn't shake the unsettling feeling that clung to him like a shroud. Ravi, younger and full of dreams, was the bright spark in their otherwise bleak existence. He studied diligently, hoping to escape the cycle of poverty that had trapped their family for generations.
Why do you stay so late? It's not safe, bye.
Just finishing up work.
Sunil forced a smile, not wanting to burden his brother with his fears. Sleep evaded Sunil. The whispers of the wind seemed to follow him home, transforming into hushed voices in the stillness of the night. He tossed and turned, his mind replaying the unsettling events at the graveyard. Something was amiss. He couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, of an unseen presence lurking in the shadows, a presence that sent shivers down his spine. He decided to investigate. The next day, as the sun began its descent, Sunil found a hiding place amongst the crumbling tombs. His heart pounded in his chest, a mixture of fear and determination fueling him. He waited, his eyes scanning the graveyard, his senses on high alert. The shadows lengthened, twisting into grotesque shapes as darkness enveloped the graveyard. A figure emerged from the gloaming, tall, lean, with Sunil's gait. Sunil's breath hitched in his throat. It was him, but it wasn't. The figure moved with an eerie familiarity, heading straight towards his house. Sunil watched, paralyzed with fear, as his doppelganger stopped at his doorstep. The imposter replied, its voice a chilling echo of Sunil's own. Sunil felt a surge of anger, of protectiveness for his brother. How dare it impersonate him? What was its purpose? A cold dread settled in the pit of his stomach. Something was terribly wrong.
Sunil couldn't stay hidden any longer. He burst out from behind the tombstones, his voice hoarse with fear and anger. Who are you? What do you want?
The figure turned, its face obscured by the shadows. A cold smile played on its lips. I am you, it whispered, its voice a chilling echo of Sunil's own. And you are me.
Sunil's blood ran cold. He stumbled back, his mind reeling. The doppelganger advanced, its eyes burning into his.
We are one, it hissed, and soon we will be together.
Terror lent him strength. Sunil turned and fled, the doppelganger's laughter echoing behind him. He didn't look back, the image of his other self seared into his mind. Sunil ran until his lungs burned and his legs screamed for mercy. Every step felt like a battle, but he couldn't afford to slow down. He didn't stop, couldn't stop. The image of the doppelganger burned into his mind. The fear was a relentless force driving him forward. The chilling words echoed in his ears, a haunting reminder of the danger that lurked behind him.
He couldn't go back to the graveyard. The memories of that place were too dark, too filled with terror. Couldn't face the thing that wore his face, that spoke with his voice. It was like looking into a twisted mirror, a reflection of his worst nightmares. He couldn't risk Ravi's safety. His little brother was all he had left, and he would do anything to protect him.
The decision was made in a heartbeat, fueled by fear and a desperate need to protect his brother. There was no other choice. He would leave, disappear into the anonymity of the city. The bustling streets and crowded alleys would be his refuge. Maybe there he could outrun the shadows that haunted him. The city was vast, and perhaps, just perhaps, he could find some peace.
He stole a last glance at his village, a pang of longing stabbing at his heart. It was the only home he had ever known. He thought of Ravi, his bright smile, his unwavering faith in a better future. That hope was what kept him going. He whispered a silent prayer, hoping his sacrifice would be enough. He prayed for strength, for courage, and for the safety of his brother.
Ravi searched everywhere. His heart ached with worry. Sunil was gone, vanished into thin air. He refused to believe his brother had abandoned him. He scoured the village, asking questions, chasing shadows. Some whispered of Sunil's late nights at the graveyard, of his growing fear. Others spoke of strange occurrences, of an imposter seen in the village. Ravi refused to listen. He clung to the hope that Sunil was safe, that he would return. He wrote letters, sent messages, his pleas for his brother's return growing more desperate with each passing day. He would not give up. He would find Sunil. He had to. Their bond, forged in hardship and love, was unbreakable.
Years passed, each one blending into the next, marked only by the changing seasons and the relentless march of time. Sunil found work in the bustling chaos of the city, a place where dreams and despair coexisted in a delicate balance. He toiled long hours, the anonymity of the crowds offering a strange comfort, a way to lose himself in the sea of faces. He tried to forget the graveyard, the doppelganger, the fear that clung to him like a shroud, but the memories lingered, haunting his every step. In the dead of night, he would wake up in a cold sweat, the chilling laughter of his other self echoing in his ears, a reminder of the past he couldn't escape. He couldn't escape the past, no matter how far he ran or how deeply he buried himself in the city's embrace. He had found a semblance of peace, but it was a fragile thing, easily shattered by the slightest reminder of what he had left behind. The fear was a constant companion, a shadow lurking at the edge of his awareness, never allowing him to fully relax. He had left to protect Ravi, but in doing so, he had condemned himself to a life of solitude and fear, a prisoner of his own memories and regrets.
Ravi excelled in his studies. He secured a scholarship, a one-way ticket to a brighter future. He never gave up on Sunil, though years had passed with no word. He held on to their shared dreams, his success a tribute to his brother's sacrifice. He knew deep down that Sunil was out there, somewhere, and he vowed to find him, to unravel the mystery of his disappearance. He returned to the village, a successful young man, determined to uncover the truth. He visited the graveyard, a sense of foreboding settling over him as he stood before the ancient banyan tree. Its branches seemed to reach out to him, as if beckoning him closer.
Sunil received a letter, an unexpected piece of his past arriving in the present. His heart pounded as he recognized Ravi's familiar handwriting, a script he hadn't seen in years. The words blurred as he read, his brother's success, his achievements, and his unwavering love. It was a beacon of hope in the darkness that had enveloped him for so long, a light in his otherwise dim world. He returned to the village, drawn back by the unbreakable bond he shared with his brother, a bond that time and distance could not sever. They met at the edge of the graveyard, the setting sun casting long shadows as they embraced, their hearts heavy with years of unspoken words. Years of shared pain and silent suffering melted away in that single moment of connection. As they walked away from the graveyard, side by side, a sense of relief washed over them. Sunil felt a weight lift from his shoulders, a burden he had carried for far too long. The fear that had haunted him for so long seemed to dissipate in the warmth of his brother's presence, replaced by a newfound peace. They had a new beginning, a fresh start filled with promise and potential. A chance to rebuild their lives, to face the future together with renewed strength and determination. The graveyard, with its secrets and shadows, would no longer hold them captive. They were free, ready to embrace whatever lay ahead.